Welcome to day, what is it? Day 9. I don't know if you can hear us because there's this thing behind me. We're doing a wild African trek today. Kay's not feeling too great. So we're just going to do a wild African trek, then come back and chill, ready for the evening. So I'll catch you all at this bus because it's really loud. Right, Animal Kingdom. Okay. Time for the wild African trek time. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna vlog it. So we'll see you then. Kilimanjaro safaris. Nice spoken. It was Katie this time. Haha. The tree of life. It's sick. We're back at Animal Kingdom, aren't we, at some point? Not until it's a 4-day.
4-day park, that's last time we were in.
We need to get a picture at least once in front of there then. We need pictures around here. We're all geared up.
No, everything ready for the trek. Alright.
Excited?
Yeah.
And
You spelled my name right.
I spelled your name, mate.
What's the water bottles?
Drip drip. Stay hydrated. Buzzing.
Do you have any enrichment for them? Any kind of toys for them? Yeah, same concept, just larger animals. You have girls, but they're in the back. You don't let them out.
So. Kid helps you out.
Really big ears that make me look like donkeys and mules. Donkeys and mules. So pretty, I love it. They've got this really distinct stripe down their back, a dorsal stripe. On the grubby zebra, they've got a little bit of hair, extra hair on it too, so it's a little bit raised. It's pretty distinct from the other zebra species. You can see 2 of the 3 zebras here in Animal Kingdom. The other one we might see later on the safari. But thank you guys so much for following a bunch of strangers. There's a girl named Panchita. She's got very distinct tusks sticking out of her mouth. These are the two boys here. I won't talk too much about the boys. I don't want to steal up on from a keeper friend who's going to come up in just a moment. But there are 11 hippos. So probably see some more a little bit later. There's another pool system up ahead where we're going to be looking for some more hippos after a little encounter here. I'm going to have y'all.
But they take turns between these two habitats. So it's either the two boys out here together or the two girls together out here. And then they take turns being alone and underwater viewing. So we bring them in twice a day into the barn. In the afternoon when we bring them in is actually when we'll change them up. You'll also get a great view of our pink-backed pelicans. We have 13 pelicans, and they have free range. They can cross the ride path whenever they want. Trucks will yield to them. You can see they like to sit up on the ledge on the other side. And when it's breeding season, we'll just scatter sticks all over the land, and they'll take those sticks and where all those logs are, they'll build their nest. So I'm going to cue, if they want to participate, they'll come to this big open area for us. So that's Hans, who just lifted his head. They are nocturnal, so they do spend the majority of their day and afternoon sleeping. About 12, 1 o'clock-ish, they're much more active. But that's their favorite sleep spot, as well as those logs, that tree sticking out. They like to use that as a pillow. So they're either sleeping in either of those two spots. During the winter time, we'll put a bunch of sand on land at the very end, and call it Hippo Beach season. So all winter time, and the whole morning until the afternoon, they're out there just sunning themselves. Here comes Henry. And you'll see as they come around, they sink to the bottom. Henry is our biggest hippo. He's about 4,300 pounds. Pancheetah underwater, she's about 3,200 pounds. So our females are in the upper 2,000s, low 3,000 pounds, and then the boys are 1,000 pounds heavier than that. So they basically have no body fat. They're very dense, all muscle. So they just sink to the bottom. When they go underwater, they completely shut their nostrils and they lay their ears flat against their head. So you just heard Hans when he surfaced take that big breath. Here's Henry.
Look at the ducks.
You can see his nostrils are shut.
Whoa.
If you've heard them, well, you did hear them make their wee honk sounds, and you guys were standing up here before I got here, I think. All that sound comes from their nostrils. No two wee honks are the same, so they can actually tell each other apart, and we can identify who they are just by hearing that wee honk sound. They'll wee honk across rivers to each other, between exhibits to each other. So Henry's begging, but that's a great view. If you look all the way in the back of his mouth, those are molars. Those are molars that they use to eat. All those teeth in the front, those are incisors that stick straight out, and those are canines that go up and down. All those big teeth in the front are just used for fighting and defense. They are grazers though, so they walk with their heads down, and they use their lips to pluck grass. They'll eat 80 to 100 pounds of grass, equaling about 90,000 calories a day. So they have very, very strong lips. And they'll use their tongue, and you'll see their jowls, all that extra skin on the side of the mouth, kind of flow in and push all that food to the back.
The ducks eating one of those.
Kids, would you like to take
They can open their mouth gum pocket, and on Henry you can really see it when he closes his mouth. That lower canine kind of pokes up. There's a pocket up there for that lower canine to fit in, right in front of that upper one. But in the wild, they'll naturally break and wear down all those teeth by having all those hippo interactions. But here, they're not fighting for female rights, they're not fighting for territory, so we do their tusk trims for them because those teeth do continuously grow their whole life. They are made of ivory, so they are easy to trim through. So they're trained for open and hold, and they'll keep their mouth open, and we can actually go in, file any sharp edges of teeth that are causing any uneven wear or any sores in their mouth. But we actually saw off inches of those teeth at a time. So that's why normally their teeth will kind of taper off to a point. But if you look at their teeth, they kind of are perfect circles on those incisors, and our canines are kind of flattened on the top. Those are from those tusk trims. And we'll just take breaks, give them some snacks, and go right back to trimming. So that was Henry's favorite food, acorn squash. So we feed them hay, which is just grass in bulk form. So every time they shift into the barn, they all have their own amount of hay diets that they get. They shift into their own stalls to get their own diet. They also get a pelleted diet as well. That just has all the added vitamins and minerals they might be lacking from any of the food we feed them. They also get a whole variety of produce besides melons and honeydew. They'll get a whole variety of different kinds of lettuce and endive. They get sweet potatoes, carrots, apples, beets, plantains, bananas. Hans doesn't like plantains or bananas, but otherwise they usually eat pretty much anything besides they go off and on the lettuce every once in a while. The cool thing about their eyes, their eyes move individually, kind of like chameleon eyes, so they can have excellent peripheral vision. Their only blind spots are their own front feet and directly behind them. So they have quite a good range of vision. You can imagine if they're just usually submerged under the water and their eyes, ears, and nose are just at the surface, they can just keep a lookout everywhere. They like to stay submerged under the water during the day from the sun. They can get sunburned, but they actually have their own built-in sunblock. So they secrete throughout their skin what's called blood sweat. And that blood sweat is a natural bug repellent, a natural sunscreen, but it also has antibacterial properties to it. So they basically secrete built-in neosporin all the time. They have 2-inch thick skin, so very thick skin, but any kind of superficial scratches they get, within a couple of days they're completely gone. They heal very, very well. You want my lettuce? Also, with that 2-inch thick skin, we can't actually see their blood vessels through their skin because we actually do voluntary blood draws with them. So we ultrasound them to see whether their blood vessels are more shallow under their skin. We'll ultrasound our females when they're pregnant as well. But we've been successful drawing blood on the tops of their front feet. And again, all voluntary. We just take breaks and give them some snacks. We can also do, we also do voluntary injections if they need any kind of medicines or vaccines via syringe. We can do that voluntarily as well. Not today. We'll save that for later. But we have 11 hippos total, so the other 7 are in our other river, and that's 1 castrated male with 6 females. Our youngest is Greta. She's 4 years old. She's Henry's daughter and Hans' sister. They have the same parents. And our oldest is Viviana. She's 50 years old. She's from France. She's from France. And in the wild, they live about 30 to 40 years. Under human care, they can live in their 50s, even their 60s. Yeah, so we feed them about 50 or so pounds of food a day for each individual. In the wild, it's more like 80 to 100 pounds of food. But the hay we feed them and all the produce we give them is more nutritionally dense than the grass they eat out in the wild. So yeah, it's about 50 or so pounds. But each hippo has their own about once a week, and we'll just kind of do bonding sessions with him. And they're very nonchalant in the water. Their back legs just kind of flip behind. Hans is almost like upside down. They can stay underwater about 8 minutes at a time, but they're not actually born with that lung capacity. They have to work up to it just like we would. But they do give birth in the water, so their gestation is only...
Walt. That's huge.
Don't forget that camera can't hear what they're saying.
Oh yeah. Hippo skulls are the same size as a bin in Disney. What the hell? I'm about to cross the bridge. Oh no.
Alright,
We're going to be crossing bridges now. Excited? We're crossing over hippos and then crocodiles. Might get eaten.
There that much, like, yeah. And we usually
Don't fall, Katie.
cheaper. So they end up with the Rocco's doing MSC cruises.
Right, yeah. He's like, well, now that you said it, I might.
Yep.
You know, it's like we got annual passes for the year. This is our fourth fly down.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Whoa. This is scary. Oh, it gets worse as you go further in the middle. Oh my god, this is awful. Oh, there's hippos. Whoa. Whoa. Oh man, such big gaps, man. I'm sound.
You're doing great out there, sir.
Thank you. There's only one direction. What a band.
You're still upright. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
I've got to cross another bridge. And it's over crocodiles this time. Kitty's up there. You ain't Kitty? Crocodile, alligators. Oh my god, hippos are right underneath me. Oh my god. Oh my. This is petrifying. Whoa. Oh my god. It's right there. Here we have two wild alligators or crocodiles, I do not know, in their natural habitat. Whoa. They're massive. Oh my god, there's one right there. Whoa. Look at that guy. They are huge. Pavos. I can't say that, I'll cut that up. Thank you.
Would you like a photo?
Yes, please.
All right, little step forward, right there. Big smile. One more. Awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Come all the way to the gate, but don't come through it just yet.
No worries. Oh yeah.
It's warm.
How you feeling?
Not very well. Going.
You having a good time though? It is cool.
As well. Stop. Our boys have called Disney's Animal Kingdom home for the past 27 years. So guess how old they are?
One of them.
No, they're actually like in their late 40s.
Very mean trick question.
Yeah, I know.
How dare you?
I dare. But don't worry, I'm not going to double dog dare anybody. We're not going to dog it down here. We're crocodiles. And then, like, for New Year's, you can get a little bit over to the right-hand side. So, like, Tom can't get in, or Lily adopted going on the What? For Nile crocodiles, we have, like, think of like the class average of Nile crocodiles down here. For our 8 boys, they're all around like 12 to 14 feet tall. And about 500 ish. They're overachievers.
How you doing? I'm
Our current chargers one, at the game for Java, he's about 800 pounds. Not the biggest Nile crocodile I've ever heard of. That goes to a boy named Henry that's found in like predators in aquatic areas. Most of their muscle mass is in their tail. So much so that researchers have seen that, like, for most crocodilians, if the water is twice as deep as that crocodile is long, they can have enough muscular strength to, like, propel themselves out of the water. That's why our water is only 4 feet deep. When we have 14-foot long crocodiles. Well, a little bit of movement. It's always entertaining because, like, when they pop their heads up, they can hold their breath for anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours. So you guys are lucky that you got to see him breathing. People ask if these are animatronic, and I say no, because the animatronics in front of Marine Park Cafe move a lot more frequently. I did mention that, like, yesterday was a feed day for these boys. How much food do you guys think we feed our crocodiles on an individual level? You know, that is a good thought process. Hopefully not. For our crocodiles, I'm pretty sure it is, because I'm going to put this in perspective. First and foremost, the amount of food we give them is about 5 to 8 pounds per crocodile once a week. What?
Once a week?
I know. They don't, this is how active they are. They don't really burn their digestive tract that quickly. Like, imagine if you were like, oh, let's say at a theme park at 104 degrees outside, you burn your calories real quick. So that's how I know this. But for our Nile crocodiles hanging out over here, I have seen them in the past get a quail tossed to them, like a medicine tail pocket, except instead of chicken truck. And it has landed right next to one of our crocodile's mouths. And he ignored it for about 40 minutes until a different crocodile came over and took it from him. These guys are spoiled on that Disney Garden. And speaking of spoiled, if you look across the way on the ride path, you see that little green truck wave at it? There you go. That's your private safari truck. So yeah, he's if you guys want to head on out towards the right-hand side, we'll get you unclipped so you can get
Going food. See some giraffes now. There's one walking over there. In distance, you see it walking.
Michigan. They didn't offer that, strangely enough. But that tree is, and it's a bad joke when I tell you this, but it's true. It is a concrete example of one. Again, I told you the jokes aren't going to get any better, but it's true. It is concrete, and it is an example. Oh, he didn't open it. He's hogging all the AC. We're all clear, sir. What we can't see on purpose is behind the baobab trees, there's an oval-shaped hole in it. And our horticulture team can store rakes and shovels inside there, so it's used for storage units. There's one particular one that we'll see later on that's a drinker that giraffes can actually go and drink outside of it as a parking lot. Why? I don't know. I don't want it. But we could put it into this location. We would still have space. So I do think that Walter Elias Disney would have been very proud of the fact that we were able to get so much land in the Florida project that he wasn't able to get into the California project. Because he wanted one of these. Unfortunately, he didn't have the real estate for that, so he wanted a particular attraction in Disneyland called Jungle Cruise to become that idea and have real animals out there. And how would you like to be the person to tell the visionary, the man himself, that you can't do that, Walt? I would make sure I was about 50 to 100. Our hippos, none of our giraffes or elephants, they came from, none of them came from Africa. They're all from either overseas, like in the case of our hippos, we have like the Epcot team, the World Showcase of Hippos. We have one from Switzerland, one from France, one from Germany, several from Mexico. and we formed an alliance here. Most of the animals are zoos. We've turned it into our own and had youngsters with some of our species. Do we breed every single species in our zoo here? No. Crocodiles on right now. And this happened not even a month ago. We brought in 2 girls, which we've never had before. We moved 3 of our 4 boys away, and 1 lucky male is going to have dates with the 2 of them. We have not been given permission to breed them until now. And we're keeping our fingers crossed because he's a senior citizen. He's 10.5 years old. And life expectancy of a painted dog is different species. This is the smallest group. They're called the mountain zebras. Their stripes stop at their bellies. They have the small ears. In Africa, zebras are not doing great, but there's a way to help them by taking pictures of them. We use photography to help out striped animals.
Oh.
There's someone chewing bubble gum on the driver's side. Actually, that's against company policy. Let's get that out. Now, these are Maasai giraffes. We're going to pull over here to the side because we have a safe spot. There is a baby giraffe in the back. But thankfully, I don't have any giraffe fans here on this vehicle, so I will not talk about them. Is that true? Is anyone a giraffe fan?
Giraffes are my favorite.
Okay, scratch that. I will talk about them then. All right, the first one I'm going to say nice things about is the little baby boy to the back right-hand side. Yesterday was his 6-month anniversary. Oh. Not that I'm keeping track. So don't tell us that the 13th is unlucky, because we will tell you as a company, we have a difference of opinion. We're not saying you're wrong. We have a difference, because our last 2 kids, our baby giraffe and our baby elephant, our girl, were a little over 1.5 years now. They were both born on the 13th. He is very independent. He's already way ahead of the game when it comes to showing independence. He was independent already after 3 months. Mom and his name's Tucker, by the way. His mom and Tucker are not, I'm going to not put them in the closest category, have never been 6 feet tall, ever. He was born at 6'1".
Wow.
Most boys will be born at 6'1", 6'2", or 6'3". I am 5'10" and probably shrinking. I'm not happy about that. He's already over 7 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
Which doesn't look like it from here. But
Is that mom right there?
No, I think Mara's over there.
No. I can't tell from the backside of that giraffe. We have 8 of them all together. We have 2.
God.
Is that, well, hi. His dad's name is Twigga. He came from the Santa Barbara Zoo a couple of years ago. He's a big boy. So that's not Dad, by the way. That's just one of our females, and she's not drooling, which is a plus. That's wonderful. They can live from species. These are called Maasai giraffes. There's not that many of them out there in the world. In fact, there's not that many here in the U.S., which is why we're allowed to breed them. The AZA loved our breeding program from before when we had reticulated giraffes. There are 4 different species of giraffes out there. 2 of them you'll find here in the U.S., 2 of them you can only find in Africa. The Maasais are not really well represented here in the States, so we are very lucky to breed them. Wildebeests and springbok are hiding out on the passenger and the driver's side. We'll talk more about them when we get to our food location. They don't really bother me. My favorite elephant of all time on the left-hand side. I am not supposed to show favoritism, but I'm going to. Her name is Luna. She's 15 years young, and the reason why she's my favorite, oh, there's another youngster coming towards the back. She's my favorite because when I joined this team, when the Trek first opened in 2011, she was the baby. I got to watch her grow up. That's her little sister, Stella, who's 9. She was born here. Both these 2 girls were born here in the zoo. And that means her family group is out there. Stella, are you going to share with anybody? I don't think so. So we have 9 elephants altogether, but they're not all going to be out in the same spot. We can't, because 2 of them are boys who are old enough to date. And if we're not given permission to breed, you can't have them out with girls because you cannot put elephants on birth control pills. Guess what? The other animals out here, you can. Giraffes, wildebeests, springbok. If there are females that we don't want to get pregnant, we can have boys out there with them. We could be getting birth control pills. We put them in their food. Right now, 3 of our giraffes are on birth control pills. The other ones are not. Which means our boy Twigga, he can date all 6 of them if he wants to. But only 4.
This is so cool. Enough food. All these are just chilling. Hello. Does binoculars work through here? Oh. Flamingos over there. Wildebeests and whatever they are. There's a giraffe right over there. So cool. Food time.
At around 11,
You can eat this.
11:05, we'll give you like the 10-minute warning to let you know that recess is almost over. We'll take off right around 11:15.
I'm gonna eat a flower.
I'll bring the camera back out about 10 minutes prior and offer family photos if you want them.
It literally tastes like a flower. It tastes like a flower. No, I'll just pull the stem off.
Luke didn't like the food, so he's eating flour that's partly edible. You want to eat a crisp, but you'll eat that.
So what's what then?
I love your bread. So, that's mozzarella. That's prosciutto, which is really nice, but you don't like, which is cold meat.
What's this?
Cheese, mozzarella.
This is the granola, isn't it? I'll eat
You
that.
can try prawn, it's cold, but it's tandoori. You like tandoori. Okay.
Cold.
I appreciate it. Because I know I will.
I think we're going to cook your 4-course meal.
If anyone would like
Yeah.
extra shrimp, you're welcome to mine. I don't eat seafood.
Can I have your bread?
I wish I would have chosen food right time.
You don't want to eat that, are you?
Yeah.
You can have any now.
You got anyone after. You're like, we'll just come down like as much as we can in a year. Yeah, I was
No, I'm not.
just finished a job and starting a new one. And right
That's
before I
melon.
purposely took some time between them, and I was like,
I'm not a fan of
on a
melon.
whim, I
For
looked
one
at my
melon.
wife, like,
But I don't want that now.
she's like,
Where?
Do you not want that now?
there. I'm gonna go to Disney. So what did you do?
It's a salad that I've got vinegar on.
Oh, perfect. I was a lifeguard.
You should have told me that.
Boat rental, like a pontoon
I don't know
boat
if you can taste it.
at the Good
Not
Ferry.
really.
And then, I was a lifeguard at Ulster Beach. Did boat rentals. COVID hit. Then came back a year later, and did
I've shoved it.
This isn't bad.
attractions and marketing.
I'll eat this.
in Florida. So I did Carousel, Progress, Monsters, and Blackboard and Speedway. And then I transferred
I
back
to drive at
lifeguarding
Magic
and
Kingdom
the monorail resorts.
on the speedway. I ain't drove yet.
Yeah, I had some girls that I knew in college that did college programs.
Can I have a picture of this?
Yeah, it was
Take a picture of mine, it's not been done.
time, but if anyone
This was nice, to be fair.
Prosciutto's nice, you should just eat it.
No.
Cured meat.
This is nice.
Expensive stuff.
Are you going to eat this?
Yes. Well, I will give you mine after.
Thank you. You can have it. You take half. Because it's banging.
Then try it then, I'll give it.
Yeah. You going to eat your flour?
No. Not eating that, I know.
I didn't mind the part.
Get a great man. Do it a but you won't eat that. It tastes like home. What, you really enjoying that flour?
Yeah. I've tried a flour. You can eat a flour. It tastes like what you think a flour would taste like. You just wasted my flour. Cheers. Cheers.
Beginning of 2019,
So this where it's spicy, it's
and then she went
Is
straight
it?
into full-time work. And then we would take time off for our honeymoon.
This is the food, by the way.
And she went without taking the time off for anything.
Does it look like Peter Pan?
So she went to school in California.
The flour's nice. This is a real cool experience. 100% recommend. Elephants over there.
They didn't know what a barn was. They were out here the whole time.
Giraffe. Round about there. And there. Oh, I'm on walking. You okay? You're a bit hot.
In our first night safari,
Get your juice down, yeah. It'll be good for you.
we just had like
Small tusk. Okay. That is Stella, who's digging in the dirt right now. She's still smaller than the other girls because she's only 9. But usually the first thing we're looking at is tusks, because they all have different tusks from each other. And then if that isn't giving us enough, then we'll look at like the rest of the body condition and everything like that.
if you look at Kianga and Nadira, they're about a year apart. For Nadira, you're looking for length of legs.
Oh.
And for Kianga, she's more stocky and more confident for everything.
We call her the supermodel. She's got the long legs. And that's Cora's mom too. So when Cora was first born, she was actually too small to reach mom to nurse. So she had to learn how to use a step stool for the first few months, which was very silly. Stella is digging in that dirt, man.
Yeah, she's going to have to clean up that mess. We're not going to go out there.
She must have buried something in there last week.
Kids, look around you. Make sure you have all your personal belongings, family members.
Right behind it is quite deep. I think it's about 9 feet deep. There's a rim around the island that's, I would say like maybe knee deep. So that's where when the keepers go in to feed the animals, they have to stay in that inner ring. If they misstep, they're...
A day.
This one just rained all day. We're like, once you were over the fact that you were drenched, there was like nobody in the park.
Sometimes we prepare and it's not bad, and then sometimes we prepare and it is bad. Then we are shut down for a day or two. Kind of just depends on the damage and stuff, right? One animal that will go into a barn are these rhinos here. Sometimes animals will stay out like the flamingos. Other times it's just because we don't want them to panic in an enclosed environment like that. Rhinos go in sometimes. Sometimes they stay out too.
Ford versus Chevy, we're going to win that deal.
That's what the keeper was looking at. But also, I'm looking behind the truck, because if you look at that really, really dark tree back there by the boulder, there's 2 cheetahs laying on either side of that tree. They're really tricky to spot right now. They're on the far side of their kind of area here. There are at least 2 cheetahs hanging out by that rock here. Just like the rhinos, we actually have 5.
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, we'll get a better look at them around the corner here.
That's fine, they can stay back there.
Whoa.
Now, it is very hard for me to tell apart the 2 girls. We've got both of them right here. Oh, and you can just barely see their brother behind him too. You can just see the fringes of his mane. It'll take him a few more years before he gets a full mane. It takes a male like 5 or 6 years to fully develop it. And the ostriches up here. Now this is actually the southern white rhino. There are 2 white rhino species. The other white rhino species, there's a pretty good chance you'll never get to meet them in person. The northern white rhino. There's only 2 left in the world. We use those precious embryos there. These are the Nigerian dwarfos.
We know who the leader is. Sitting on top of the picnic table.
They're so fun. They love to climb in that little truck back there. Anyway.
We have done the Wild African trek. We are going to head back now to his room, have a bit of a chill, as it is absolutely boiling. Katie's not feeling too good, so I'm going to end it now for this morning. So I can put it in my bag because it is boiling, so I don't want anything to happen to my GoPro. But yeah, Wild African trek was sick. Hope you enjoyed that. and we'll catch you all in a bizzle. My chicken sizzles. I have spoken.